So in today's video, we will be covering these topics. So, in today's class. So like SDLC, SDLC models, and DevOps pipeline, DevSecOps pipeline. So firstly, I will go through the software development lifecycle. Like these are the phases of the software development lifecycle: planning, analysis, design, implementation, testing, deployment, maintenance. So what is basically software development lifecycle require? So why do we require development lifecycle is, let's say if you want like let's take a business. Okay, so if any business want to build any website for them, okay, any web application, okay, any mobile application. So if they want to build anything like that, so they cannot directly start, right, from where to start. So there should be proper planning, right? There should be proper process that they need to follow. So that process is nothing but this. So if they want to, like basically they want to grow their business, right? So that's why they are coming digitally to reach multiple customers or more number of customers. So that so in order to build that properly, that application, so they need to follow some like kind of a roadmap or some kind of a process, right? So that is this software development lifecycle. Okay, so these are the stages of it. Like planning. So what is SDLC? Like a process the software industry uses to design, develop, and test high quality software. So this is software development lifecycle basic definition. Then coming to the planning phase. So here gathering requirements and feasibility study and project planning. So in the planning phase, what they do is like they will be sitting with the architects, okay, who the business persons. Okay, so if you are a business person and you want to build a website for your so a web application, so it should be like publicly available website or web application. So what you will do, you will be reaching out to say, like any company or who do, or else if they have any development team or like that. So they will be first talk with the architects or some leads, and they will explain their needs, so what they require in their websites. Okay, that phase is nothing but the planning phase. Let's say they require some order placement, so like that they require some searching, they require login page, so they require products page. So that also basically there will be some modules, okay, predefined modules. So if you want to build any application, any kind of application, like if you want to build e-commerce application, for that there will be some modules like that, it will be there. So they might use them. So already working modules like for building different application, there will be different kind of approach, right? So they will be use the already used modules or like that, means process to develop the application. So that will be done in the planning phase, like gathering the requirements. So this is the major thing, like requirements from the business persons, so what they require, like that. Then comes the analysis. So what they have planned, right? So there will be detailed analysis on the requirements and system designing. Here there will be system designing part. Okay, high level HLD, high level designing. So like basic how the system architecture should be. So that will be get designed here. Okay, like which tools we will be using. Okay, like that. Then in the design phase, like architecture, so this also both combined, like you can say both are combined phase, like that, like architectural design, UI UX design, how should be the application look like. So here they might use the tool like Figma. So do you know like what is a Figma tool? Have you heard about it? Like which database, like database design. So Figma is like used for, let's say I want to build an application, and how should that application look like, so I will design that. So using the Figma tool, the like whoever the expert in the Figma, right, so they will build some images. So this is my application should look like. Here my application, my uh, what you can say, my brand should be there, like Amazon. So there should be it should look like. And in the login page I require Google and Facebook and Instagram different sign-ins. So like that they can mention. So this Figma will be there, right? So this Figma link will be sent to the development team. Okay. So the developers will work on the whatever the designs are there, right? On that the development team will be working on. So I'm not saying what is SDLC ideally. So I'm going through like the steps what we do in our project. So whatever I see, because I sit with the developer team, I sit with the testing team, right? So that whatever I know, so I'm sharing that. So basically we do the same thing, like this Figma link will be shared to the development team as well as the testers. So once the development is done, so that will be going to testing team, right? Like they need to check for bugs, errors, any kind of like system integration testing. So there will be multiple testings. So like they need to check the UI testing also. They need to verify performance testing, whether the application is bearing or not. The users, like how many users can access the application. We are able to access the application at a time. So like that also they will be trying to check. Okay. So performance testing, load testing, different kinds of testing will be there. So that's all will be done in the testing phase. Then deployment. So in the deployment phase, like releasing the software to the users. Okay. So that will be deployed on the production, like that. So once the users are nothing but the customers or whoever the corresponding end users for that application. Okay. So if it is a Amazon e-commerce kind of a thing, the customers would be the user. So if it is an organization, the employees will be the user. Okay, like that. Then maintenance. So here ongoing support and bug fixes. So the application should be also in a maintenance, right? So because any issue comes, so that will be reported to the help desk team, customer support, and they will be forwarding that request to the corresponding team who can resolve that issue, like that. So first they will be raising a ticket, and so if it require any kind of an enhancement, right? So that will be checked in the later development releases, later releases, you can say. Understood? Any doubts here?
Understood.
Yeah. No.
This is the ideal steps that the all companies follow for software development, any kind of a software development, and also have included some like tools, right? Figma. So like that. So Figma, so whenever there is any enhancements or if they want to like change anything, right? They will be doing change in that and they will be updating to the development team, like that. So they also will understand, and Figma helps very easy to the developers also. Let's say, do you know what is CSS does? Any idea? What do CSS do? HTML, CSS. So CSS,
Frankly.
yeah, content styling part, right? How the website should be styled. For styling, we use the CSS. Okay, like how much the image size should be, or how much what font that text should be, like that. So this can be easily like easy to develop by using this Figma tool. Okay, it helps because it directly gives. Let's say they have designed one image, right? It will give the length and breadth, like that, width of that if image. So it will directly give in the CSS, so that we can use. And the developer team can use that for easy development. So that also helps the Figma tool. Understood, right? What I am saying.
Yes.
Basically, I'm going to like this is a waterfall model. So there will be some SDLC models as well. So one of the SDLC model is a waterfall model. So basically, it is used for like what you can say. It will be a kind of a linear and sequential approach. So like once the requirements are gathered, so once one step is completed, then only it will move to the next step. When design is completed, then only it move to the development phase. When development is completed, it will move to testing. Then when testing is entirely completed, it goes to the deployment. Then only it goes to the maintenance. So there will be no kind of intermediate actions here. So like if there is any kind of changes in the requirement, so that will not done in this waterfall model. Okay. So another model will be agile. So that we will discuss in the later slide. But for now, you can see like linear and sequential approach. So but here there will be proper documentation of each phase. Proper documentation will be maintained in the waterfall model. So this and each phase must be completed before the next begins. So this is the main important point in the waterfall model. Then characteristics, sequential phases. Each phase depends on the deliverables of the previous one, right? So when this entirely completes, right, whatever this output will be there are requirements that will be used for the designing. So once the designing is completed, so the output of designing will be used for development. Entire development completes, then the testers can run the testing. So like that, it will be there. Then extensive documentation. So detailed documentation at each stage will be there in waterfall model. Then advantages: clear structure and easy to understand. So waterfall model is having the clear structure and easy to understand. Then it is well documented process, easier to manage due to its linear nature. So it is easier to manage. Okay, why it is easier? So you will be able to understand when we are discussing agile. Okay, then inflexible to changes. One phase is complete. So let's say if there is any add-on in the requirements, right? So it is not flexible to again change the entire process in case of the waterfall model. So if they are following the waterfall model, then late discovery of issues can be costly in this waterfall model because what, let's say they have the requirement and everything they have done for an application, so they forgot to add a security layer like MFA in the requirement phase. Like for a login page, I didn't add any MFA. And while testing, right? So when they are testing and deploy, so they've analyzed, it means they have recognized like MFA is not, sorry, yeah, MFA is not there, and it is a benefit feature that will be help for security of the application. So if they find like that at the deployment phase, right? So it's very costlier to and again go back and work on it, because here we didn't do any kind of a validation here. Okay, no validation done at the every stage. So again they need to work from start. In the enhancement they can do, so that need also be done like after this release is completed, then in the future release they can add on like that. Not suitable for complex and evolving projects. So for small projects kind of thing, so not suitable for complex and evolving projects. Yeah. For the waterfall model for complex and evolving projects. Let me give an example for that. So for waterfall model, I have an example like development of an enterprise resource planning system. Okay, so an ERP tool. So if they are developing, like any example of, do you know what is ERP tools? So SAP is an ERP tool, okay, which is used for like inventory management. For e-commerce websites, we use the SAP tools and in ERP tools. So SAP
Yeah.
is a type of a tool of ERP. So inventory management, like if the, so we know, right, a DMart. So for DMart, SAP could be used as a one tool for ERP, enterprise resource planning, like which go down, like say which go down has this product. So you can take also Amazon, Flipkart. So e-commerce websites or e-commerce business will be there, right? So they can use these kind of a tools, ERP tools. Okay. for inventory management. So whatever inventory are present at where it is present, for that it will be very useful, these tools. Okay, so manufacturing company wants to implement an ERP to integrate and manage its business processes, including in inventory, production, and finance. For these four can be covered in this ERP tool. So can be managed by using these ERP tools like SAP. Then approach requirements, gather detailed requirements and create a specification document. This will be done in the requirement phase. Then design, develop system architecture and design detailed design documents. Then implementation, code modules for inventory, production and finance sequentially. So this will be done in the implementation. So that is nothing but development. Then verification, test the system against the requirement. Uh, can you go on mute for actually there is some disturbance. Okay, these testings, unit testing, integration testing, system testing. So integration testing, it checks whether it is properly integrated with the backend tools or not. So that is known as integration testing. Then deployment, deploy the system and conduct training sessions. So this happens. This like training sessions like for end users or the business users who will be there, right? So there will be also business users, like they will be acting like a real users and they will be placing the order with a real credit card or like that, so that they like in future if the customer facing the same issue, right? So that should not be happen. That's why they firstly check with the business users. Then maintenance, provide ongoing support and updates. So like that. So this is the waterfall model approach, but this happens sequentially in a linear way, like one step is completed then only it moves to the next step. So integrated and streamlined business processes as per the initial requirements. So whatever they have defined in the initial stage, right, that only will be their output. So no other add-on will be there in between. Okay, then coming to the agile model. So agile model is like a cyclic model, you can say. So whereas comparing to the waterfall, it's a linear model, right? It's a sequential model. But whereas agile, it's a cyclic model. Like once the plan is completed, so the design will be done. So if there is any kind of change or they want to do, right, they can also change in the design, because it runs, it's a loop, like it will be done for every releases, like there for every release, for every enhancement. So if they want to do anything, add on any feature in between also they can add on, because it is a agile model they are using, like it's a flexible model to use. And also it's a collaboration model, means it collaborates with multiple teams at place. Like we will be having some calls like scrum calls in agile model. Okay, so where there will be daily meetings like regarding the update of the project, like if they are doing any kind of a project, right, so they will be updating each and every point to the business owner or scrum master. Okay, so there will be one scrum master for him, so her, so this will be updated each and every process of the application, like every update of the application development or testing, any kind of a issue is also there, so that will be updated in that call. So it is a iterative incremental approach. Okay, incremental means you can add on anything, any feature if you want to add. Then it's a iterative, it's a loop process, so it does like they have to do multiple times the same thing. Then key principles, individuals and interactions over processes and tools. Yeah, so I have said, right, there will be calls, and so there will be correct process will be followed in case of the agile model. Then working software over comprehensive documentation. Yeah, so there will here also the documentation will be there, so that which whatever documentation will be there, so that will be shared to the development team, testing team, each team. so they can review them and they can work on based on the documentation. So this documentation is nothing but like architecture or designs, so what of the application, so like that. And customer collaboration over contract negotiation, like, so this is also happens in the agile model, like like customer also can collaborate in the like the business person also can be add on in the project. Okay, then responding to change over following a plan means they can also change anything if they want to do in the planning also. Flexible to adapt to changes, continuous delivery of software, valuable software, high customer satisfaction will be there in agile model due to regular feedback. So you can see you will be getting regular feedback in this. Then requires experienced team members. So these are some kind of a disadvantage, or you can say the something that need to be have in agile model, like experienced team members and challenging to predict timelines and costs. So this is a little challenging in case of the agile model. So what it here it is doing is like there will be, I have said right, calls there, that calls are known as retrospective calls. So there will be retrospective calls, and there will be also uh, like what you can say, yeah, sprints. So they will be like allocating the sprints to the development team, allocating to development team, like sprint is nothing but 2 weeks. Okay, 2 week for each. So the in this sprint you need to complete these many tasks, like that they will be assigning in Jira tickets. Okay, they will be creating Jira user stories. So like prepare this module or like that for the development team, and they will work on that. And in that sprint, if that sprint is completed, that goes to the testing team. Okay, whatever developed in that sprint, that goes to the testing team. So if the testing team finds any bugs, right, they will immediately report that to the developers by raising the same ticket. So they will be creating some subtask in that Jira ticket, and they will raise a bug to the development team. So immediately the development team will patch that bug, and they will again like inform to the testing team to test that. Okay, so this is how a loop goes on. Like once the developer completes one module, so it will go to the testing. So once 70% of the development is complete, right? So testers can write the test cases and all, and they can start the testing. So this is how it will be. So once everything is fine, then it will be deployed on the production. Deploy on production. Okay, on prod. Then like it will be like if there is any kind of enhancements also, so they can add it in the design phase again. So again it will be developed, again it will be test. So like that it will be there. And so in agile model, these are the process like we need to remember. So this is basically SDLC only, but SDLC have different models. One is waterfall, another is agile. So here lot of tools will be used in the agile model to make it automation. So that tools when it came, right, so that is known as so that culture is known as DevOps culture. Okay, so that tools are DevOps tools, most of them. So it combines the, so DevOps is nothing but combining the development and operations. So it is called for collaborating the development and operation teams. Development plus operations. Development of a mobile application, mobile banking application. So a bank want to develop a mobile banking app to provide customers with easy access to their accounts, transactions, and other banking services. So what is the approach they follow is like requirement gathering, same, like collect initial requirements and prioritize the features. So like that they will be having. Then whatever prioritize the features means they will be prioritize what features need to be developed first, like that. Then designing it, create a simple design for the first iteration. For the first sprint they will create a simple design. Okay, so development work in short sprints, example 2 weeks. So I have said, right, sprints means 2 weeks. 2 weeks of a time is known as a sprint to develop features. Then testing, perform testing during each sprint. So on each sprint the testers will be doing the testing and gather the feedback. So whatever the feedback is there, that will go to the development team. Okay, if any small issue is also there, let's say the application when they are opening, right, the UI is not properly showing, the logout button is showing wrongly. If there is any spelling mistake also, the testers team will be checking that, and that will be reported to the development team immediately. Okay, using the any Jira tickets. On Jira tickets they will be raising the bugs. Jira, Jira tickets. Okay, then deploy to small group for beta testing. So this is done for beta testing. Basically, I think beta testing is at the offshore, wherever at the for the users testers is known as beta testing, I feel. Or so there will be two types of testing, like beta and alpha. Like I think I'm little confused, but I don't know correctly. But alpha testing is, I think, going to the client location and testing that, going to the client location and in their laptop or like that, if they test, right, their application in their mobiles or like that. So that is known as alpha. Okay, beta means at the offshore, like at the cloud, wherever the application is going to develop, right, the testers who will be there, right, so that is known as beta testing. Then review and retrospective, so review and improve after each sprint. So retrospective these are nothing but a call, so where they will be collecting each and every detailed information, every update of the project. Okay, so if there any kind of a issue also that need to be delivered to the scrum master, so that should be notified to that scrum master. The outcome of the agile model: continuous improvement, incremental feature addition based on the user feedback. So this is basically agile model. Okay, moving on to the next slide. So what is DevOps pipeline? So a set of automated process and tools for building, testing, and deploying code. So if you want to uh, automate the entire software development life cycle, right? So you require the DevOps tools. So there are multiple tools for DevOps. So Git is also known as DevOps tool. So it is a version control tool. Yeah, I was saying, like, what is the usage of Git?
Yeah.
Git is basically version control system, right? So in the name itself, it is given like version control. So Git collects or Git stores the different versions of code. Okay, different versions of code. So why do we require different versions of code? Let's say if there is any kind of a issue, right, in the production or like that. So and if that code is having any issue, right, so if they want to roll back to the previous code, so they can easily roll back because they have the different versions of code, right? So that is the usage of Git. So it stores the multiple versions of code. So that is Git. Then we have another tools like Jenkins. Okay, so Jenkins is the automation tool, automation server. It is known as. Actually, it's a CI/CD tool, continuous integration and continuous deployment tool. Okay, like you can integrate any tool into the Jenkins pipeline. Like you can integrate security testing tools. You can integrate Selenium automation tools. Okay, in the Jenkins. And we have similar to Jenkins, we have TeamCity, we have Azure DevOps, and So these are, I think in AWS we have code build. So like that, we have multiple DevOps tools, which so these tools agenda or these tools what you can say, the importance of this tool is to collaborate and automate. Okay, these are the two aims you can say of this DevOps. So it is used to collaborate and automate the process, collaborate the development team and the operation team, and in DevSecOps, coming to DevSecOps, it is development, operations, and security team. So like that. So a set of automated processes and tools for building, testing, and deployment. This is the DevOps tools or DevOps process. It is known as. Also, we will be having Maven. Okay, Maven is a build tool. Okay, like that. Key components: continuous integration, frequent code integration, and automated testing. Then continuous delivery, automated deployment to staging environments. Staging is nothing but testing environments, test environments. So we don't directly deploy on the production, right? First we deploy on the test environments. Then only once everything is fine, so then it will go to the release. It will deploy on the production. Then continuous deployment. So that is, these are the three components of DevOps. And tools like Jenkins, GitLab, CI/CD tool, Circle CI is the CI/CD tool. Azure DevOps is also CI/CD tool. So these are the stages. So you can see here entire process is on under loop. Okay, that is the importance of the DevOps. So it also makes the entire once the developer writes the code, right? So we can automate once they push into the Git, right? It will be automatically built. So we can set that using this Jenkins tool or any kind of a CI/CD tool, right? So you can do automation of the build. It will build is nothing but compiling the code, right? Build is nothing but compiling. So it gets build, it gets test, it can run the unit test cases automatically, or else it can use some Selenium scripts for testing. So they create means testers, automation testers will be there, right? They will write some Selenium scripts, or they will use Java plus Selenium. So anything. So what they will do, they will write, they will deploy those scripts in the pipelines, Jenkins pipeline, and they will run the means using the CI/CD pipelines. So they will run the testing also automatically. Also, we can integrate the security testing, security tools. I will show you. So this is the main thing. We will integrate the security in DevOps. So that is the entire course, like SAST, DAST, SCA. So that only we can do in this process. In testing phase also we can integrate DAST. So like that. So that we will be seeing in next slide. In DevSecOps, I will show you. So this is how it automates the entire process. So this is known as DevOps. Okay. So I will show you the practical of Jenkins. Okay, and Git. So different tools also in later sessions. So that's it about DevOps for now. So moving on to next slide. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me.
Sai, so the test cases are written and then those test cases would be there in the this pipeline, right?
Yes, yes. The cases not actually, they write the code like Selenium scripts or Java. In Java also they can write. They can automate. So they can write the automating testing tasks. Like they need to first go to the button, enter the username, enter the password. So what is testing? Testing is nothing but whatever the customer does, right? Customer do. So before that we need to test it. let's say if you are a customer for Amazon, you are a customer, right? So whatever you do, so that need to be first verified, right? Whether everything is working or not on the application, like whether you are able to log in, whether you are able to open the page, whether you are able to search the product, whether you are able to place the order. So whether it is showing in the back end, like this order is placed and it gets picked up like from the location and it gets delivered. So once it deliver, whether it is showing you like delivered or not. So that is entire process here. They are testing. So these tasks, they will write some code for that, like in the application, for the application to test that. So that is nothing but automation testing. Okay. So that scripts can be deployed in the pipelines, CI/CD pipelines. So whenever uh, the latest code is pushed into the Git, right? So this we can set, like whenever the latest code comes into the Git, so immediately run the pipeline. So whenever this it runs the pipeline means entire process will be done. Security testing, manual automation testing. So all steps will be covered in this pipeline itself. So that is the importance of DevOps. It automates. Okay.
Got it.
Then coming to the DevSecOps pipeline. So DevSecOps is nothing but it's also a DevOps, but here we are adding security, another layer to our pipeline. So the let's say if the this is our DevOps, right? So we are adding a layer as a security for our DevOps. That is nothing but DevSecOps. So now we are adding at each stage wherever it is possible. We are adding the security. Okay, that is called as DevSecOps. Integrating security practices into the DevOps pipeline ensures security is continuous part of the development process. So this is also known as shift left approach. Sorry, shift left approach. So why it is called shift left means, so previously, so in software development life cycle, so when there is a production launch, right? After that, they used to do the pen testing. Pen testing. Pen testing is like whatever they find the vulnerability, they exploit the vulnerability. So that is pen testing. So by performing manual testing or automation pen testing, they used to do that. But nowadays we are trying to shift this approach to left. Shifting to left is nothing but like that. Shifting the security to left. So this approach is known as shift left approach. So that is DevSecOps is also known as shift left. Sometimes you might get asked in the interview, so tell me about the shift left approach, like that. So definitely they will be asking because it's a term so which is used for DevSecOps. You just remember that. And key components like security integration. So when they ask, like I got this interview question, like what are the key components or key features of the DevSecOps. So what we need to say is like security integration, automated security testing, compliance monitoring, and we can also say like uh, collaboration, right? Collaborating security and development and operations team. So like that, these all we can say. So continuous security testing during the development and ensuring compliance monitoring. So compliance monitoring is nothing but you can also set some policies here. Let's say for Amazon or Flipkart, any application, so they will be using payment gateway, right? Payment
Yeah.
gateway, like because they want the users to pay using the digital, like phone pay or Google Pay, any kind of a payment gateway they will be using. So any application, if they are using payment gateways, right? So they need to follow PCI DSS rules, PCI DSS standards. So this policy also we can check in this process in the development phase. Okay, we can verify in the code also, we can verify whether it is following these rules, whatever the PCI DSS standards have. So that is why compliance monitor is also completes in this DevSecOps process. we can also ensure that compliance is also there for our application. So compliance is nothing but following all the rules. So it means our application is legal. So it is not following any, it is not having any kind of legal issues like that. So legal issues in the sense it is not hacked. So it is not having any details of the customers on the internet, right? So that should not be happen because customer the applications will have the customer data. That is the sensitive data, right? It might be any information mobile number, email address, name, or credit card details, debit card details, any information. So that should be secured. So that is known as it is the application is compliance. So if it is secured. So then coming to the DevSecOps pipeline. So what we can do is like at the planning phase, we can add like this threat modeling, change impact analysis. So these are some techniques. Okay, threat modeling is like identifying the threat at the early stage of the deploy, early stage of the development only. Like what you can say, if there any application, so what threat could be come to that application based on the previous data. So based on the similar kind of application which has have already encountered with that threat, right? So they can analyze that. So they will be also ready with the incident response plan, right? So these kind of a threat could become to my application, so I will be ready with that plan. So like that. So that is known as threat modeling, so that we can implement at the planning phase. Then coming to the build. So at the pre-production phase, we can add some security testing tools here, like SAST tools, like code review tools. Like we have SonarQube, check marks. So these are all the security testing tools. Sneak, OWASP dependency, check. So these are some tools that we can integrate in the Jenkins, or I will show you how to integrate also. So in the Jenkins, we can integrate that. So in the CI/CD tool, Jenkins is the CI/CD tool, right? So in this we can integrate that, and how that is bringing the application, what you can say, secure, or how it is making compliance the application. So that's how we are implementing the security in the build phase. Then at the testing phase, you can integrate dashed tools. Okay, OWASP app or Vera code dashed solution. So dashed is nothing but a kind of a testing, security testing, where you check the runtime behavior of the application. Runtime behavior, keeping in mind how secure is the application. Like security is the uh, key point here we are checking in the dashed dynamic application security testing. So we will learn in detail what are these. I will show you the practicals also of these tools. So like that. And in the maintenance phase or like that, you can add sim tools. Okay. Let's say if there is a login page, how many people are logging in that? Anybody is doing any kind of brute force attack or like that. So you can use the sim tools like Splunk, QRadar. So this is another domain. It's a SOC domain that is not much related to the application security. So this is another domain. Another jobs will be there for SOC analyst, as like that. SOC analyst, SOC, SOC. So like that, we can set some tools. Then log collection, RASP tools, patching tools, and patching tools are nothing but like we can in the operations we can use Ansible tools. Ansible is a tool, so which is used for patch management. Is we can do configuration management basically. We can do automatically the patch management. So patch is nothing but whenever you have any issue, right? Then you need to patch to all application. So how we can do it on all application on all servers at a time? So by using this automation tool like the Ansible, so it will automatically reflect the changes in all the servers like that. So WAF using the web application firewall. So this is how we are building a layer of security in the entire DevOps pipeline. Okay. Understood? So this is the production phase. This is the pre-prod phase. So this entire each and every topic we will be seeing in detail and along with the practical when we start the practicals. Okay. Probably in 2-3 classes we can start that.
Okay.
Got it.
Bro, in DevSecOps, we just need to ensure the security, or we need to edit the code, or we need to deploy the code. We should do that on the code side, or we just on the security side.
We just need to identify the vulnerability and we need to provide some
That's
guidance to the development team. So that guidance is known as
okay,
remediation. Yeah.
but we do not do anything regarding the code, right?
No, we don't need to do we don't need to edit any code. We just need to
Okay.
intimate the development team like that. So we have found this
Okay, got it.
vulnerability. We need to prioritize them based on the severity. So basically, this all done by the tool itself. So because it is it only gives like a high vulnerability, very high vulnerability, medium vulnerability.
Yeah.
So definitely, very high vulnerability should be firstly resolved. So that we
Yes.
intimate the development team. So this we got a vulnerability. So you can give some links or you can explain them how you can resolve this, why this is a vulnerability. A little bit you should also have a knowledge about that. Okay.
Yeah.
So that you can learn it by it will be like when you do this right. When we go for practical, I will show you some. We will be having CV, IDs, CW IDs, so like that. So that only will be the solution. Even the tool will also generate some solution so that we can give directly to the development team. Then they will be working on that.
Oh, got you.
If you have any doubts like that, you can ask me.
Nothing, bro.
Can you explain what is shift left approach? Again, want to note it down.
Yeah, okay. So shift left approach is nothing but let's say basic previously there was no you might not heard about this DevSecOps previously. It was not there. So it was get popular in recent days only. Like Task, Dast, and SEA. So these all tools and technologies come in. I think in 3-4 years they got highlighted. These tools before I think 2020 before it was not there much because the security testing was only done at the production phase or at the testing phase. Okay, security testing. Let's say this is planning, then design, then what it was there, develop, then testing, then deploy, then comes the maintenance. It's okay. This was the process, right? So when entire development is completed, so while let's say some of them were also doing at the UAT testing also. So when the application is deployed on the UAT, right? So they might do the pen testing sometimes, but mostly when the application is in production, so this pen testing was conducting. Okay, pen testing, penetration testing. So what they do, they perform the pen testing using some tools like Burp Suite or OWASP, so that we will be seeing practicals. So like that. So they used to do, and they used to find out the vulnerability here. Let's say I got a vulnerability while doing the pen testing. So vulnerability is cross-site scripting, XSS. So now what I need to do? So again, I need to go back to the development team. Like this is the vulnerability we got, and please resolve this like that. So they used to create a report like that, the pen testers. So this report will go into the development team, and they will be verifying where the issue is, and they need to rectify it in this phase. So what is happening here? The application So it was entirely done at the right side of the software development lifecycle, right at the end, you can say. But now what happened is a feature or a culture has came, like shift left approach. Shift left approach, like adding the security at the left side at the starting, like at the starting phase of the software development life cycle. So this is known as shift left approach. Okay, understood?
Yeah, got it.
Any other questions?
No.
uh that's it. So thank you, thanks for joining.